Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. I'm not going to edit this video, we're just going to talk some stuff out, and I really do want your opinions because this video is definitely a lot of speculation. So as you guys know, if you're on this channel and you view my videos, I'm a big fan of FPGA gaming. In particular, my two favorite FPGA gaming devices are the MiSTer and the Analog Pocket. Now, there are a lot of projects on the horizon, projects that hope to go further than the MiSTerFPGA. Now, the MiSTerFPGA uses a Thoracic DE10 Nano board. That is the heart and soul of it. The two most popular FPGA gaming systems, I'm not talking about FPGA systems that are dedicated to one console, but ones that can do a number of different systems. The biggest, the best, the baddest out there is the MiSTerFPGA. I don't think anyone can argue with that. The amount of console, computer and arcade cores you've got on the system is amazing. Then, like the little brother or the little sister, whatever you want to call it, like the Switch version, we've got the Analog Pocket, an excellent hybrid, something that you can take on the go, or if you're like me, you play it in bed, or you can dock it and play it on your TV. It has a number of cores and it is an excellent system. What we're going to be talking about here is possibilities of what we may get in the future, and I certainly feel like there is a race on, even if it's not intended to be a race, because when you've got multiple projects on the horizon, some are still work in progress, some have like announced themselves as being worked and they've just disappeared and missing in action. So it's anyone's game at the moment, and I feel whoever gets there first may kind of get that lead in the end, where it may be a little bit more difficult for other projects to catch up. Now, don't take this as gospel, because something could come out first but not have the developer support, then something could come out months or a year later and that will have developer support. But let's just consider some options. Now, there might be some more options out there. I've just gone for what I believe may be the strong contenders out there, and there's definitely a bit of speculation in this video. So yeah, no editing, I'm just going to freestyle this and hopefully I can wing it. I mean, I've been winging it at my job for years and somehow I get by. So let's start with this. Over here, we are looking at the DE25 standard development kit. So there's been a lot of talk about this potentially being the successor to the MiSTerFPGA. However, these currently aren't available, and like the DE10, we had the nano version of the kit because the DE25 has extra bits on there that we don't necessarily need. But if we do get a nano version and it's a decent price, maybe this can be a continuation, an evolution, the next step in FPGA gaming, and potentially a project called the MiSTerFPGA 2. Now, this has more VRAM, it has 28,000 more logic gates, and as well as that, like, it has a faster clock. So yeah, this could be something good. Maybe we can get something like Dreamcast on this, and I think that's maybe as high as it will go. Now remember, I'm not speaking from a technical background, but I'm just basing this on all the conversations, all the observations I've made in various different discords where there are a lot of people that really do know what they're talking about, including prominent developers that have brought cores, multiple cores, over to projects like the MiSTerFPGA and the Analog Pocket. So this could be potentially something, if it kind of comes out and it comes out at a decent price, it could potentially be an open source project that could get adapted by the community, could get that developer support, and could be a continuation of the MiSTer project. Before I go further as well, guys, I just want to say the MiSTer is excellent, and honestly, as much as I love innovation, if we never got another FPGA console out there, I am super happy with the MiSTer and the Analog Pocket combo. It covers the golden days of my arcade, the golden days of my computer and my console gaming. However, it is nice to get shiny new things. I'll still use my old stuff. So here we go. We've got the DE25 standard development kit, and when you try and buy it, it says contact Thoracic. So I'm not exactly sure what the availability is, how you get it. Maybe you need to do some kind of course and maybe you can get yourself a unit. But maybe in the future, if these are made a little bit more readily available, maybe they're going to be subsidized and maybe they can be used for, well, us gamers. After that, guys, I want to have a look at this project here. So this is the FPGA Arcade website, where there's a project called, well, there was a project called the Replay, which they sold a number of boards. Now they're working on the Replay 2. And guys, I've been following this project for some time. Like with most things in retro gaming, delays seem to be inevitable, and these guys are always fine-tuning and they're always working on stuff. But the good thing is there are some projects that get delayed, but they're very secretive and they don't really share a lot about what is going on. In Replay 2's case, they've got a very active Discord. I've just got a page open here with a couple of things, but they're always sharing stuff about what is going on with the project. So this uses the Agilex 5 range of FPGAs, which ranges from I think 138 logic elements all the way to a whopping 656. I can't remember the exact board that they're using, but the main developer behind it, Mike J, very talented individual, very straightforward, a straight talker, and I feel like they're very close to actually releasing the Replay 2 board. It's something that I'm very much so looking forward to, and I'm pretty sure these guys are going to rock up with a killer core for this system when it is up and running. They've worked very hard in order for MiSTer cores to be brought over to the Replay 2 very easily. It's something I've been excited for some time now, and I feel like now it may be heading prime time, given that more challenges have kind of entered the arena. Who knows, maybe it will be even, or maybe it will be out even sooner. Then next up, kind of like, again, kind of Replay 2 kind of style, but Takyudon, the person via his company Retro Remake, that recently brought us the MiSTerPi, which was like a clone and alternative MiSTerFPGA board, or a clone DE10 nano board, which was kind of formed into the MiSTerPi, and it was somewhat cheaper. So to get a whole setup, I think it was $150. To get the actual DE10 nano clone board, it was like $100 or less, you know, compared to Thoracic that was selling it for $225. So Takyudon has already delivered products onto the market. I have a MiSTerPi. I'm extremely happy with it. It runs really well. So Taki over here in this tweet, I've covered it in my weekly news videos, but this is a dedicated video about the potential future of FPGA gaming and what we may get. So Taki here says, today I had a good meeting with our Terra partner. I've decided that we will create Agilex 5 engineering boards in a modified MiSTerPi form factor to seed to developers. Okay, so that's something to go out to developers. What developers exactly, I don't know, but obviously you can't have a platform. You can have the best platform out there. If you don't have people developing for it, it is essentially a paperweight. So let's see where that goes. So Taki then continues, I'm considering adding a condition that the hardware becomes open hardware after a set time. Okay, and then having a look at this kind of follow-up tweet. So i.e. 1 year or as a guarantee if we can no longer produce the boards, depending on the part we pick. So 138k logic elements to 656k logic elements, and that's amazing. Expect pricing to be 1.5 to 3 times the cost of MiSTerPi. So that's like $150 to $300. Honestly, if we can get something with 656k for 300, I'd consider that very acceptable, because I think the actual price of Agilex 5 boards on the higher end are definitely a lot more. So let's see how this goes. Taki on his recent kind of MiSTerPi has faced some delays. He's also working on a project called Superstation 1, and it seems like, I keep saying, delays almost seem inevitable. You know, you try your best, you put your orders in, you get given a delivery time, and the company or the manufacturer you're getting stuff from can't deliver on what they've promised, then inevitably that gets passed down to the end user, the consumer that has placed the order in. However, Taki has delivered products, and well, I have faith in him. I just don't know how long this is going to take, but it honestly feels like a variation on the Replay 2. So this is why I kind of feel like a race is on. What will come out first, the Replay 2? But if Taki comes out after Replay 2 but he's cheaper, is that going to be the option? I mean, we've got options, and as a consumer I definitely feel like competition benefits us definitely more than it benefits the people working on multiple projects. Kind of continuing over here, so Big FPGA, and this is where he is showing an Agilex 5 FPGA and SLC-E series. So here you go, that's Takyudon showing that it is in hand. It's something that they may likely be actively working on right now. I know they're working on multiple projects like the Nintendo Switch screens, the MiSTerPi, the different batches of that, the Superstation 1. I know Taki is going to be working on a portable MiSTerFPGA. That's one with a screen. That's the portable one, and a handheld one. My biggest one for 2025, even ahead of future FPGA gaming devices, because hey, I'd love to have a MiSTer that I can take to bed with me. That kind of sounded wrong. Right, let's now move on. So this is really cool. We've got the Tang console. So the Tang console by SiPeed, they've got a 60K model. They've also got a 138K model. I know some of them have gone out. I know they're kind of going to release like a console style one to kind of go out to the masses. Now, this is definitely gained some popularity, but it looks like Tang don't want to stop there. It looks like they want to evolve. They want to progress further within FPGA gaming. So they've got a number of cores that primarily or mainly Nanta Mario has brought over. There are other developers that have brought some cores over, I think some of the computer ones, but there's a lot of interest in this. There's customer interest in this, and there's also developer interest on this. There's a lot of people that are amazed by this, they like the price, and they want to get developing on there. So this is something, a cheaper alternative if you buy the 60K. I can't remember how much it is, $60, but it is generally quite cheap. I will have one on the channel soon. I do speak to SiPeed, and at a certain point I will get one. I'll show it off either by doing videos or live streams. Definitely excited about it because definitely fun, and I think it's a good option to have out there, even with like the MiSTer or the MiSTerPi that we've got available now. So definitely don't rule out SiPeed, especially when we look at this next tweet here. So they're talking here, so after the Tang Mega 50 to 200K, we are planning FPGA Tang larger series, Tang Ultra 200 to 1000K logic elements. I mean, that sounds crazy. Tang Extreme 1000K logic elements. So that's just a heck of a lot. So which LUT size range do you prefer? So what did I vote for? Okay, I voted for 640K for $300, right? So look, so you can get 210Ks for around $150, 420K for $200 or around $200, 640K for around $300, and a whopping 3800K, man. Do the math for that. How many logic elements in that? And can that actually be utilized, or will that just go to waste? I don't know, but it looks like Tang are up in their game and they're kind of assessing the future. I guess they must be selling a number of the Tang consoles to think, okay, let's now go higher up. Let's see what we can offer the community. And don't be surprised if one day something like this ends up getting massively adopted by the community. Developers start porting cores and making original cores for this. It's just very interesting, right? Because we've got the Triassic D25, we've got the Replay 2, which is an Agilex 5 board the guys are using. Then we've got the Takyudon, who wants to produce his own Agilex 5 boards. But then we've got the SiPeed Ranger boards, and it looks like there's going to be more logic elements there, and they are looking to up their game with more powerful FPGAs. So those are the main contenders, at least for the next generation. Definitely let me know what you guys kind of think about that. Now on the end here, I've got analog, and the reason that I've got analog is, okay, so we've got a delay, as you can see here on the Analog 3D. The Analog 3D doesn't have OpenFPGA, but it does have a powerful FPGA inside. Let's see if we can go to the store page and just kind of have a look at the products on here. So it's powerful, so I'm wondering if it's going to have different cores. But on the other side, right, what do you think about this? So let's go beyond the Analog 3D now, right? So let's go like to 2026. What if they were to release another powerful console? They might be targeting, let's say for argument's sake, they're targeting the Saturn or the PlayStation, and on that you've got an OpenFPGA side, which then gives you possibilities of a second FPGA, having OpenFPGA on there, having other cores on there. I don't know if this is true or not. Again, it's speculation, but with analog, you know, when they release something, it's like bang, it's out. There's no like, hey, we're doing this, we're going to bring you that, we're going to do this. It's like, we're going to release this on this day to pre-order. So just saying that, probably like a long shot, but hey, I just thought I will put that out there. And this is something I'm super interested in. I absolutely love the Analog Pocket, and I would love to see a successor to the Analog Pocket, a handheld. So I don't know if they will target something like the Nintendo DS, have like a touchscreen in there, even though DSs are quite cheap, but maybe it's something that will have OpenFPGA and it'll be able to do more powerful systems like, say, the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation, and the Sega Saturn. Again, pure speculation, but I'm a big fan of the Analog Pocket. It would be nice to see an evolution of it. I don't know if it will be truly like the next gen, but it would be nice to get another hybrid, right? A Nintendo Switch style one. I know we've got potentially a MiSTerFPGA handheld coming in, which will be a hybrid in and of itself. But hey man, I do like the Analog Pocket, and for ages I've wanted like a Game Boy Advance style Analog Pocket, even if it was exactly the same device, just in that horizontal form factor. So it'd be nice to see if Analog do a continuation of the Analog Pocket and Analog Pocket 2 or Analog Pocket Plus, whatever you want to call it, because they've sold bucket loads of this. It's a very, very popular device. So, I mean, from a business point of view, it kind of makes sense to do a follow-up to this. So let's see what the kind of future holds with that. But I love the Analog Pocket, so it'll be nice. Definitely something I'm looking forward to. And finally, the reason you are seeing Scooby-Doo and the Funky Bunch, or whatever the heck they're called, on your screen right now is because there are likely other projects out there as well. But I hear whispers. Okay, here's a bit of this, or have you heard of that? I'm not putting anything in there because, hey, it might be speculation, it might be nothing. But don't be surprised, because whereas some people like to say stuff and some people may be in it for a little bit of, hey, look, this is what we like doing, and hey, we all like showing off a little bit, right? It's why Instagram exists. It's like, hey, look at my video gaming collection. Some guys might be out there going, hey, look at our project, this is what we're gonna bring. But there are some of those guys that are just silent. They're just quiet. And when you find out about the project is when they are ready to go, when they may potentially have exclusive cores, system selling cores we're talking about. Again, speculation here, guys, but don't be surprised if bada bing, bada bo, bang, something just comes out and you're like, wow, this is amazing. So that's really it, guys. Just wanted to kind of run you through this. Just going to go through the tabs we went to. So the DE25, hopefully we'll get a D25 Nano. That will work as a subsidized board. That will be a bit cheaper. That can potentially be a MiSTer 2 or a continuation of the MiSTer project, or just an FPGA project, a more powerful one in and of itself. We've got the Replay 2, awesome team behind it. They've been working on it a long time, making sure they're getting it right, and it does seem like they are getting closer to release. Then we've got Takyudon, the master of cloning it or making an alternative version of it. We also had QM Tech that made an alternative MiSTer, by the way, but Taki is taking it to the next generation. So it'll be interesting to see how these Agilec 5 alternatives go, how long it actually takes, whether it's going to be something that's going to be 3 months, whether it's going to be something that's going to be 6 months, a year, or even 2 or 3 years. Who knows? No idea about the timeline. Then we've got the Cypede Ranger boards, right? Cypede make lots and lots of stuff, including FPGA boards, and it looks like they really want to go further with the Tang console range, even offering like an FPGA with 3800K logic elements. Like, what is that? Is that 3.8 million if you add 3 zeros on it? I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to make a mistake and embarrass myself. And then never count out analog, right? You never know what they may come out with. They may come out with another more powerful console, have the open FPGA, and a continuation of the Pocket. I would love that. I love my handheld gaming. When I finish doing this video, by the time I put this out, I'll go to bed. It'll either be the Steam Deck, the Switch, or the Analog Pocket, but it will be a handheld. And finally, a mystery project that might just pop up. But that's kind of it for this video, guys. Really do hope you found it entertaining. If you did, thumbs up, subscription, all that good stuff is super duper appreciated. Share your thoughts below. Definitely interested, have I missed something out that you may think might be the leader or might win this kind of next gen race in FPGA gaming? Anyway, guys, be awesome to one another. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.